Well, anyway, back to the game, and back to my Zaya point about Celebrity. Because so far, up until this point, Celebrity had only played 3 champions. Jinx, Aphelios, and Caitlyn. And now the Zaya makes the 4th champion to his roster of picks for Spring Split.
Yeah, it really does. And I just pressed the wrong stinger. Whatever, we are now in the game, and can you repeat your point? I just got distracted by my own self.
I was talking about Celebrity's paddling pool of champions. 3 champions so far.
The champion puddle.
Yeah, champion puddle.
I mean, if it works, don't change it, right? But the thing is with SBTC, I mean, you just see the score now in the top right corner, right? It's 2 and 6. Doesn't really look the best out of them, but yeah, Zaya is actually a fine champion right now. I mean, it kind of goes back to priority with Jinx being slightly nuts. Actually does counter the Jinx right now, and it is something that can do something against the failures in the early phase of the lane. And also you have like the adaptability, right? You can go lethality Zaya or the crit Zaya. The Airy to me indicating it would indeed be the lethality Zaya this time around, which would be a very brutal AD carry, especially in the mid game.
And I do really like this set pickup from Palette, because not only is it good in the laning phase against the Nautilus, I feel that if a Glory ever gets a distortion slightly wrong, it's super easy for Palette just to instant face breaker, drop down a showstopper, and maybe you can get a kill on Glory. It's same for Ryuk as well. If Ryuk ever tries to look to get onto 2T and Celebrity, Palette again, face breaker, and it's an easy pick onto whoever it is trying to dive onto your backline.
For sure, and we need to have a huge focus onto the supports, because I mean, last game the supports have been the best players, I would argue, and you would also argue that, I guess, as a support main, also having watched that game, that the supports had very much less of an inting tendency than the other players did have, and yeah, Palette definitely standing out there with the potential face breakers on towards Ryuk, and also Elio maybe even to really get him off the hook in a little tent. And here we see first move maybe from Palette, DNK.
DNK remembers what happened at the Scuttle Crab in the last game, where he tried to take a Scuttle, Drakthar contested, Drakthar got the Scuttle, and then Drakthar kicked DNK into Elio's waiting dredge line. And DNK was very sad about that, and this time he's going to be able to get that Scuttle and force Drakthar to his Krugs. We still haven't had a gank yet. Maybe we'll be getting one towards this bottom lane, because both supports have a lot of ganks set up.
They definitely do, but both bot lanes should also know that there will be like junglers being around, because the cattle fight was just happening. And Emperor top lane, maybe going for solo bolo.
Speed, 5-point strike, and the auto picks up first blood for Emperor, who gets his revenge on Ryuk.
That's a problem with Ryuk, right? I mean, there was like some indications that he may be able to only play this one champion with the Renekton being banned and Camille not being as much of a comfort champion for him, that he might just suffer against this Akali coming up from endpoint. It's Ignite Akali against the Camille. Very good matchup for her, and he just now punched it so early. You don't have to die in the 1v1 so early, though. And Ryuk, of course, being on Ignite himself means he couldn't really flash out if he ever gets himself into trouble, and this is what happened right there. He goes for the hookshot wall drive, but he just gets dodged because, of course, Akali with the shuriken flip mobility can micro manage that and get away from the stun. This means, of course, Ryuk is in a little bit of an awkward situation and can just get run down by this Akali.
Well, 1 kill for the side of SBTC, and this time they haven't done any crazy dives onto the Sky bottom lane, so as a result they haven't given away 2 free kills. Well, actually it was 3 free kills. And a small lead for SBTC. We'll see, again, you mentioned the fact that there's no Ignite or there's no Flash for the top laners. Maybe, again, that's an opportunity for Drakthar or DNK to look for some plays. And indeed, we're actually seeing Drakthar hovering around this top side, but will he pull the trigger and will he go for a play? The junglers will meet each other in the tri-bush. They'll duke it out, but which one of the top laners can get there first? Ryuk will have a hookshot available momentarily, but DNK wants more out of this. Drakthar back into the brush, will be able to sidestep the Spectral. More hookshot takes Ryuk out. The follow from the Shuriken Flipper. Emperor goes back in, and Emperor picks up the kill with a perfect execution.
Yeah, Shuriken Flip is also a nice ability, right? Just getting the target on him, hitting level 6 means he gets another dash offensively onto him, and this just makes it easier for him, right? Because Ryuk still down the flash, because he will never have flash in this game. He chose to pick the Ignite, couldn't really use it at all this game, and the 2v2 is won, even with the Spectral Maw being sidestepped, though. It has been very one-sidedly played on the side of SBTC, and Emperor really pulling ahead here. Here we see it again, Drakthar getting engaged with the first Spectral Maw, wins the 1v1 because he is Lee Sin against Vigo early. This should be done by the Lee Sin in isolation, and it's also fine. He just backs off because Emperor is coming around. This Spectral Maw is indeed sidestepped by him, and here we see Emperor again. He is level 6 against the level 5 Ryuk. Of course, experience disadvantage playing in the favor of SBTC, and Emperor, yeah, just needs one cast of it, basically, and just finishes him off. 2 kills, created now by the difference that Emperor created on his own, basically.
Now, Sky are trying to use a small window to take this first Drake, but Dragthar is low, and DNK is on the bottom side of the map. Will he head down to contest? And the answer to that is no, DNK will just take his walls, as Sky will secure the first Drake of the game.
Yeah, first Drake of the game secured by the side of Burst Sky, using the base timing of the bot lane coming out from SBTC, Lefelty, Xayah just now picking up her tier, and also the Swayed Dirk to really pull ahead in this laning phase. And we have seen, yeah, the Aumine Nautilus bot lane, Aphelios Nautilus bot lane, somewhat stabilizing here. Just not they hit level 6, but they also are getting lapsed on, I would say, but they chose against it. 3v2 not really fancied by the side of SBTC, with the potential of maybe someone joining them, but Dragthar is on the other side of the map. They could have went for it, but they chose against it. I don't really know why they chose to do that, but with that, DNK also securing the next Scuttle Trap on the bottom side of the map and maybe looking for something in the mid lane, because he also just now hit level 6, so the Heartbreaker could be out.
Glory with a double distortion, that means no more abilities to dodge anything as a DNK shows up, but doesn't go for a play. Glory still practically under their own tower. And I do want to take this moment to actually praise both teams, because we've seen a lot less int, I want to say, in the first 8 minutes compared to what we had seen in the first 8 minutes of game 1, and maybe it's a sign of good things to come for this second game. It is SBTC though that do have the lead, and now they're looking for a very early Rift Herald, and I have a feeling, Quincy, that DNK will be wanting to drop this in the top lane and just snowballing Emperor's Akali. That's already 2-0.
Yeah, it's already 2-0, will definitely pull ahead further, and yeah, you have addressed it right now. I mean, there have been less inting in this game in particular, but there was also a lot of room to grow, I would say, after we have seen this first game, where quite a bit of that happened, and yeah, Emperor's Akali will definitely still be a very scary prospect. It will get even worse if it will be snowballed on with the Rift Herald coming out. I really wonder if DNK really drops it for those, or if he chooses to have the bot lane out, because they are kind of going even right now, which is not the ideal prospect, because with the Lefelty Desire, you will eventually do less than the Aphelios in isolation, I would say, at least, because Aphelios with the crit build will just do more. DPS check is always lost by the Lefelty Desire if it goes very late, and you might want to drop the Herald in the bot lane to really have them like snowballing a little bit more there, getting a bit more gold into their pockets, because they haven't really taken a single turret plate, are even in CS, and this might just be not enough for them. Emperor's already fine. I mean, he's already winning the top lane in the 1v1. He also just won the other 2v2. He played together with both junglers. So you can now, of course, have both discussions on your side with propelling him more or just stabilizing your bot lane, which would, in my opinion, be the better choice for them.
Going back to this top lane, Emperor having a much better performance on the Akali than he was doing on the Tryndamere. To be fair, at the start of the game, the Tryndamere wasn't bad. He was able to get a bit of a lead over Ryuk, but he never was able to convert that into anything. And here in game 2, he's already found himself with a 2-kill advantage over Ryuk, one of which was a solo kill, and the other one was a very nice usage of the fact that he had a perfect execution and level 6 when Ryuk did not. But right now, SBTC playing things calmly. They're not overstretching for anything. They're just waiting for the next objective to come up, which will be that Infernal Drake in 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, will be the Infernal Drake. Glowy now getting a nice trade onto Tuti, which is not that common in this matchup, I would say. They picked out a Blanc into the Ahri. Usually I would favor the Ahri here, because you can just charm onto the distortion and make it very hard for the LeBlanc to really win those trades. But Glowy landing the Ethereal Chains, definitely helping him out there. And Tuti kind of losing this lane surprisingly hard with being down 2 waves in isolation. There wasn't even much jungle tension towards this lane. DNK now also forced to Heartbreaker out defensively against Ragnar, who still, of course, on the Lee Sin has a lot of dueling potential that the Viego has to respect.
And it is important to remember that Lee Sin is a relatively strong champion and will be for a while, but once we do get to the later stages of the game, we already talked about Emperor outscaling Ryuk's Camille, and the same will be for DNK on that Viego relative to Dragthar's Lee Sin. That being said though, Dragthar always has a purpose that he can serve on that Lee Sin, and if he's able to find a good kick, that can be so valuable in a team fight.
Definitely can, and what could also be very valuable in the team fight is a very good showstopper coming up from Palette. I mean, he has a very easy target lining up for him. With Elio being on Nautilus, he has surprisingly high base HP, or well, not even surprisingly. I mean, with Nautilus, you kind of expect it. He's a chunky boy, you know, and you can, of course, maximize your damage output as a support out of that pick, which, of course, in itself sounds kind of weird because supports are not that needing to really do much damage in the team fights. But, of course, if you get a good showstopper to Elio, you can really be devastating in those team fights and also set yourself up for nice multi-man face breakers to really get the CC rolling. And here we see the Wave Turret being placed down by DNK. Ironically, it's in the mid lane where I expected it to go out the least. Maybe also with it expiring, it was just the best outcome he could just now choose for himself, because you don't want it to expire at all. You're still on the plating money. You, of course, want someone at least to pick it up. And now it goes to him, shared with 2T. Who also has been struggling quite a bit in this game. Bot lane, of course, while just now going even, they are at least going even. With the Ari kind of struggling in the mid lane, it is something that, of course, 2T is very happy about.
Now that second Drake of the game is up at 2T. Just watching Glorious Glory clears out a control ward, looks to go in. Ethereal Chains I don't think landed. Orb of Deception denied as Glory returns to their original image. And SBTC push into the river, trying to gain some control. It's almost actually, you know, I never thought of it this way, but when teams push into rivers to try to gain objectives, it's almost a bit like CSGO when a team will flood into an area, just try to force themselves in to gain
Engage
control.
coming in?
Yeah, that's an engage on to Elio. The Ignite already dropped down. Elio is on the run, and SBTC now have complete control of the river. Glory trying to step in. Drakthar did land a Sonic Wave onto a Drake. If you want to steal a Drake away, Lee Sin is always one of the best champions in the game to do it. But Drakthar will not approach the Drake, and SBTC have won the battle over the Infernal.
Yeah, definitely nicely done by them. Also, huge credit to the vision control of this river area, right? It was full of wet wards. There was just a single blue ward in the pixel brush placed by the side of Burst the Sky, and SBTC really controlling that area. They did kind of waste the Ignite onto Elio, but it mostly just looked wasted in my opinion, because they really chunked out the health bar with that little skirmish they had of both Drakthar and Elio. Drakthar didn't really feel confident to just go in with the Sonic Wave and try to go for a steal. So that Infernal Wake goes over to the side of SBTC, and them looking a lot better in this game than they did in the last game. This time they are partly also on the scaling side with the Viego against the Lee Sin, of course, and also the Akali in the side lane could do really much trouble to the side of Viego on the Camille. And them being ahead right now is definitely something that plays in their favor. And Viego really struggling to find any impact on this Camille pick so far.
And it's been a very measured game from both teams. I've said it before, I'll say it again. 2 kills at 14 minutes. This is maybe a VCS record, honestly, for Spring Split so far. Only 2 kills in the opening 40 minutes is ridiculous. But I am still looking at Glory, because once Glory gets to an item, once that Luden's Pulse is picked up, they can start to have an impact, and that's when I'm going to expect to see Glory moving to the side lanes, trying to pick up some kills on Emperor or Celebrity.
I mean, what Luden's Pulse? There is no Luden's Pulse in the game anymore. I think it's Luden's Tempest. Either way, I don't think anyone is building it, right? I mean, who could build it? I mean, maybe the Avi could, but the Avi looks to go Everforce, and Emperor just done it again.
Yeah, it's another solo bowler for Emperor in the top lane. I think he's been watching some of Kiaya's recent performances, because Kiaya has been the king of solo kills, and maybe Emperor fancies himself taking that second spot.
Looks to be the case, definitely. With Hero, there's also another competition rising up towards the challenge here in being a very strong top laner. Pan, sadly, mostly being out this split and to pause, and also Pan not really being the hard carry top laner makes it maybe a bit easier for them. But this solo kill, of course, now single-handedly enables the second turret to be picked up by the side of SBTC. Of course, second turret not that great, as it cannot really help you in securing turret plate money, as turret plates are already gone. But even because of those turret plates being gone now, you can deal a lot of damage. Speaking of solo kills, there's another one.
Well, Heartbreaker will make it a 1-for-1, but Glory gets the solo bolo and has that one item now on the LeBlanc. And I did think it would be the Ludens picked up. I think when I made my point, the Everfrost hadn't been completed, so I'm going to use that as my excuse for getting that one wrong.
Oh, you don't get away with that excuse. They already had the Kindle Gem, so you were kind of already not seeing it. Either way, here the hook lands onto Palette, and that's not really the ideal target. He can just buy some time with the Haymaker, and Aomine getting zoned away from the wave. This is terrible, of course, to really help him prosper in the laning phase. But Drakthar maybe has something against
Oh, good flash hook, but it is flashed away by DNK. Either way, they get the CC. It's a kick towards Alameda, and Alameda will get the kill onto DNK. The Haymaker has been dropped down. Palette incredibly low, but Palette will survive as a teleport from Emperor brings the Akali into the fray, but Elio is able to walk away. Ryuk walking his way down as well, and SBTC will have to retreat, but Sky pick up the kill.
Sky pick up the kill. SBTC kind of panicked there with Emperor also TPing down the bot lane. I think he was kind of angry that this kill even happened in the first place, and rightfully so, because DNK really shouldn't have been there. I mean, his flash was up, but his Heartbreaker wasn't really much to escape from them if he just gets knocked on by a second type of CC after he already uses his flash. And also with Palette not having Facebreaker, or in this case Haymaker up, he cannot really save himself here. Flash goes out, but of course the Nautilus can just auto-attack you, land the snare, and then Rockstar just insects him in. Emperor TPs, but the thing is, Emperor, he has his ultimate, but not really another mobility spell. He cannot really get in there, uses the shuriken flip, and Emperor alone is not enough. I mean, there needs to be some setups, you see, for the Akali to really float in the team fight. She is a strong duelist, but that's all there is to it. Here, Showstopper comes out. And Tutti, I'm not sure.
The hectic ultimatum, but pulled back in by the Facebreaker. Can't hook shot away, trying to get the kill onto Tutti. Gets a fair bit of damage off the Ignite, spent as well from Ryuk, but in the end, it is all for nothing as SBTC will get the kill regardless.
And that Ignite might have been kind of wasted by the set of Ryuk. I mean, he was very close to finishing off the kill. Here we see the Tutti was really struggling in getting the kill because he kind of lacked the damage, but he doesn't have the Luden's Tempest. He goes for the Aeroforce Ari build, which is of course more utility oriented, but cannot really one combo any carry, and the Camille would maybe fall prey to that if it's Charm into Orb of Deception to really get the kill rolling. But here we see Herald number 2 being placed, and this tier 1 turret will not survive for much longer. SBTC will establish some more map control and also accelerate their gold lead a little bit further. It is 2k at 80 minutes, which is not, of course, the end of the world for the side of Burst the Sky, but still somewhat comfortable for the SBTC to really fight this next wave, which will right now spawn, and Viego's already on it, and Draktar doesn't really feel even interested in contesting this.
It's a 2k goal lead, but don't forget, Burst the Sky have a couple of towers that they can quite easily pick up. The bottom and top lane outer towers running relatively low on hit points. So we could be seeing Sky picking those up shortly and getting a bit more gold into their pockets, and the Glory with some great farm at the moment, building towards their second item right now. And maybe I can get this one right. Is that going to be I can get it. It's the one that does more damage on your first hits.
Horizon Focus.
My God. Yes, that's the one I was thinking of, but I didn't say it.
I mean, you are with me, so you're kind of saved on that one, because I mean, that's like the one thing I know within broadcast. I know how the things are called. Yeah, the one thing I know is Horizon Focus. That's basically all there is to color casting League of Legends, is knowing what that one hex tag item is called.
When are we getting Crincy Sporkle quizzes on items? Yeah. You
know they exist, but they aren't done by me. It's like you have all the icons, and then you have to type in the name. Maybe I should make one.
Yeah, I don't want to do it if you didn't make the Sporkle quiz. I can't trust it.
Yeah. So it's basically it needs a Quincy sign of approval for you to do it, and otherwise you don't even bother doing it. Yeah. That's actually very very welcoming of you. Thank you very much.
If I see one of the abilities or items done wrong, I know who I can scream at. Yeah.
That helps. Yeah. And also you have like one excuse more. Like if you don't get something, it's like, nah, Quincy did it wrong. Either way, speaking of the game, next wave coming up in a bit more than 3 minutes. Baron just now spawning, but I don't think that it's really an early target for the side of SBTC. But they seem to think differently. They maybe at least try to bait a fight or something, because I don't think you can finish the Baron very quickly with the Lefel Desire. It is not as DPS heavy as a Crit Desire would be. Of course, you can land a nice burst combo with it, and now Emperor maybe getting caught. He is a mobile Akali, but the Hextech Ultimatum makes it hard for him. But with the twirl shot, he might just escape. He does.
Yeah, he just escapes. Oh, Sonic Wave. I thought that was going to land, but now the Depth Charge will tick over onto him. He gets a knock up, but Sky can't quite get close enough. And in the end, 2 ults expended for 1. And Emperor stays alive. Although Sky do get a tower in the process, so I'm sure they'll be happy that they can get at least some gold.
Nah, they get the turret, but the turret was already very close to being finished off. Meanwhile, SBTC on the other side of the map finished a complete tower, which is of course a little win for their side. Emperor not quite happy to burn the ultimate, but with no objective coming up in the next few minutes, or I mean with Baron being up, but Drake not really being on the plate. He is probably kind of fine with it. He doesn't really need the ultimate in a team fight because there will not be any team fighting happening in the next minute, I would say. And you see the ultimate cooldown, but it's already back up for 3 quarters, so not really that much of an expansion. Meanwhile, Elio on the Nautilus not really getting to build much ability haste, had it only half back up, so he will need some time to get the death charge back on him, and that alone just means SBTC with again another small win. And versus Kaya, however, they are staying close in gold.
Okay, now it is time to go on to one of Milky's mini games, and this is something I used to do in the past with my casts. Rebel will probably remember it back from my time when I casted in NA, but I've not done it for a while, so it's time to bring it back. And this is a new game, Sin or Win. Enpers Morello. Is that a sin or is that a win?
Sin. I think going anti-heal is fine, especially against Divine Thunder or Camille. Also against Conqueror Sin being there. But you don't need the full Morellos. It's like the classic LS talking point, right? Regardless of what you think of LS, he's right on that one. Oblivion Orb alone is fine. You can just go a different AP items and at least start building that one. And just go Oblivion Orb into like the components of Deathcap, or go Zonia, so you have like the stakes up for the team fight to have like one outplay button more on your side. And yeah, I think the full Morello is definitely a sin and not a win.
Okay, I'll see if I can work out more sin or win. Oh, I've got one.
The Shadow Flame.
Our mean is Collector. Sin or win.
He needs to make good use of it very soon to be it for it to be a win, because the enemy champions are already level 10 and higher. It will start to fall off eventually against the base armor value already. And if you can of course collect some kills with it, you get the bonus gold, get the execution threshold ring in. But I don't need to talk about it because it's a team fight.
Well, there is a team fight. A kill happened. It went the way of SBTC as Elio died, and that play was definitely a sin from Sky. Also, a sin on our Mines ult, because that found absolutely nobody.
It found absolutely no one, and yeah, with that, you don't even. It doesn't matter if you build Collector or not, Dominic's regard. If you don't hit your abilities, don't get to auto take. What does it really matter what kind of items you build, right? Either way.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, next Ocean Drake on the menu for the side of SBTC. They are having the control over the Drake pit. Got the pick onto Elio, and with that, will be soul point for them even. Would be a potential Ocean Soul for them. And of course, unlike those slippery champions like Ari and Akali, and also the Viego to some extent, you can do a lot with that. And just heal back up. And also, like, one weaknesses of the Felt Desire is she cannot really lifesteal back up in teamfights. Of course, Eclipse has some kind of lifesteal, but a lot less than maybe a shield bow item built with crit and a lot of attack speed would have. So it having an Ocean Soul would definitely benefit the Desire very, very much. Here we see the fight again. Elio kind of being stuck there. He's just, yeah, in close vicinity of too many members from the SBTC, while his mates cannot really fire back any fire, and so they don't really need to respect any kind of zoning and can just pile onto the tanky looking Nautilus, who isn't
Tutti.
that tanky. Tutti. He escapes.
He
I mean,
sees a member with the Oracle lens. With a
Is it
sweeper and then says,
you're an English native, you can tell me, is it really escaping if he doesn't really get threatened by anything? I mean, nobody really tried to collapse onto him.
he escaped from the threat, I guess you could say.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't know. I like to think that he escaped there. I don't know how to follow up with that one. I think I'd call that escape. I think I'd call it escape. Would you say that's escape, Quincy?
I would say it's escape because I said it myself in the heat of the moment, and of course I didn't say anything wrong in the heat of the moment ever, which is of course one of my key abilities as a caster.
Glory Shadow Flame is a sin because we said that was going to Horizon's Focus, and he didn't pick up Horizon's Focus, therefore it's a sin because we can't be wrong. Can Emperor be wrong though? Dredgeline. Emperor goes golden to buy some time. The teleports are coming through. Who goes to focus on? TNK gets hit by the Sonic Wave, but backs away. Glory returning in. Another Sonic Wave lands, this time onto Tutti. Burst Sky cannot find a target. Glory will be able to land the Everfrost, but again, Moonlight Vigil tags onto no one. Raktar's going to be able to find the kick, and Tutti has fallen. Hectic Ultimatum finds one. The Showstopper drops down. DK goes in. It's a four-man haymaker. Ryuk somehow still alive. Ryuk will surely fall. The hookshot will take him over the wall, but the Ignite ticks down, and he will fall. A 2 for 2. Both ADCs fall, Ryuk and 2T fall as well. And how that is an even fight, I don't quite know.
I know, because Palette absolutely smurfed this fight. He landed a very huge showstopper into facebreaker combination to really have everyone succeed on the side of Mr. Sky, and also DNK killing off Aominem and then stealing the Aphelios himself to really have another replacement AD carry being there makes it easier for them. Palette is kind of in trouble right now, though. Maybe Empa can salvage it a little bit, getting some kills out of Glowy.
in trouble, and by extension, Empa's now in trouble because he's in a 3v1. Dredgeline will land, but it's only onto DNK. At the real change, Dragtar goes in, gets the kill onto Empa. Now looking for Palette, lands a Sonic Wave, resonating strike to pick up the kill. 3v1 onto DNK, all on top of each other, and it's a triple kill for Dragtar, who steps up for Sky once again, just like he did in game 1. And all of a sudden, Sky are well and truly back into this match.
Welcome to the Dragtar show, I guess. He just very clutch on landing the Sonic Wave, and also this whole skirmish was just basically SBTC trying to bail each other out and them going towards the fight they really shouldn't be in. Here we see the replay of the fight we had earlier. Nice insight coming out. Aomine instantly killing Tuti. Haze Automated making sure that also the Zarya cannot escape. But here we see what the set does. I mean, Showstopper, Facebreaker, Haymaker onto everyone. Even the support set deals quite a bit of damage if he has some grit onto him. And yeah, now Emperor killing off Ryuk again makes it a bit easier for them.
I just want to point out that Facebreaker into Haymaker, it was a flash. So that the Haymaker landed onto absolutely everyone, which is, I think, why the Camille died as well.
Yeah, and speaking of praising Palette here, this one is kind of on him, I would say, because they all tried to bail him out. Maybe it was communicated, like, please save me or something. And now we see what really Dragtar can do. Nice follow-up, instantly kills the high priority target, it being Emperor, who can deal a lot of damage. Next Sonic Wave also lands onto the set, and he just now safeguards in. Yeah, just punch the Vigo in the face for a final triple kill finish off, and that's just a mid-game comeback maybe for Mr. Sky, because they are just now forcing the Baron. Aphelios having nice weapons for it with the Crescendo and the Severum, and yeah, SBTC is just dumbfounded, they cannot really step into it. Oh!
Will they secure the Baron? Yes, they do. That got way too close. Exit ultimatum onto 2T. Can they follow? Dragtar goes in, but Dragtar will fall. 2T still alive.
And but Celebrity.
Well, while they're dead. And Aomine misses the Moonlight Vigil. Aomine is going to fall as well. Palette will pick that one up. Never mind, it goes the way of Celebrity. Elio now focused down. And Emperor and 2T collapse onto him. They get a Baron, but at what cost? Sky just throw it away, and now it's only Glory and Ryuk who have the Baron buffs available for the side of Burst the Sky.
And they also don't deserve the Baron, let's be honest. I mean, they just now won that fight they really shouldn't have won. Then they go for the Baron, get the Baron pretty freely, with Aphelios having the right weapons, and then they choose to go for that fight. They could have just walked out, they were blue set. It was very easy to just walk out, be happy with the Baron. They were not happy, however, and Celebrity, together with Empire having that flank, definitely found a good angle onto them. And here we see again how it happened. Ryuk go with Hexer Tomato onto 2D. I think that much is fine, but they all pile onto it. Yeah, yeah, actually I shouldn't be that complacent about not flaming Ryuk. I think Ryuk, yeah, he definitely shouldn't go for that. Aomine also not really good as a follow-up chip, but he's just an AD carry. he's not Zeri or a Lucian that could maybe do that. And yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that you see in solo queue, where you flame your teammates for getting way too greedy of going for one thing after another without resetting. And this is coming off the back of some of the most clean gameplay we've seen from either Burst Sky or SBTC. All it takes is one team to get too aggressive. Now I think we're just going to absolutely just snowball into mayhem.
Yeah, Emperor's in the flank.
Dragtar trying to secure
the
break while all of this happens. Hookshot comes in. The focus on it to Palette. 2T already down.
Aomine down.
Aomine will get taken down. Dragtar secures the Drake, but at what a cost, because Burst Sky are falling. In goes Dragtar looking for the kill onto Palette, but Dragtar will fall. Glory goes in, not able to get the kill onto Emperor. And SBTC get the ace. They don't drop a single member. They don't need the Ocean Soul. SBTC win the fight, and now they'll just look to crash the minions on into the mid lane. They've got the minion wave, and this might very well be game currency. This
must be game. You asked at what cost, and the cost was definitely everything, because the death timers are long enough. All 5 members died, all 5 members alive on the side of SBTC, and they do not care about giving up this Ocean Wave if they just can get the Nexus instead. Very nice flank coming from Emperor. The damage was there from the side of Celebrity. He had some rough moments in the early game, but at the end of the day, he just managed to pull through and get carried together with his top laner. And now SBTC reward themselves with this game's 2nd win, and now we are moving on to